will spend nearly £6,000 on foreign gas over the next 12 years as domestic supplies dry up. Data from the Energy and Climate Change Intelligence Unit suggests the UK will be left dependent on imported gas unless it prioritises the rollout of renewable energies. And the ECIU's head of energy, Jess Ralston, is here with us now. Hi, so much to talk about with this, isn't there? I mean, actually, I was with friends at lunch yesterday and we were talking about the fact that we don't seem to have storage for gas in the United Kingdom. There is storage available, but we don't use it, and so that we'll become more and more reliant on imported gas. Is that right?
Well, there's that, but the main thing really is that the North Sea is declining. You know, the oil and gas industry's own estimates show this, and unless we lower our gas demand, we're just going to have to fill that gap with imports from abroad, and that could be, as you said, to the tune of £6,000 per house by 2035. Now, if we roll out renewables, we move away from gas boilers, we insulate our homes, we're going to be reducing that gas demand so that we have to get less in from abroad.
We use a lot of gas here in the UK, don't we? We're very reliant on it. And we're hearing about heat pumps, electric heat pumps, but they don't seem to be as reliable as is being suggested, certainly some of them. And also, they're very expensive.
Well, I think there's a lot of myths around heat pumps, which actually are really important to talk about. So there's over 20 million installed across Europe. And in Norway, over half of households have one. And one of the myths that you hear quite a lot is that they don't work in the cold. Now, I don't think over half of households would have them in Norway if they didn't work in the cold. So there's various things that are said in the UK because they're a new technology to us. And it's important to talk about them so that we can get rid of these myths and allow people to install them.
OK, but they are expensive.
Well, yeah, there's a £6,000 grant available for a ground source heat pump at the moment from the government, a £5,000 grant for an air source one. And actually, as we see more and more installed in the UK, the hope is that the installation costs, because there's not very many installers around at the moment, hopefully when there's more of them, the installation costs will fall and they'll be cheaper for the mass markets.
What about oil?
Oil is an interesting one. So oil in the UK, we don't actually use very much of it. We export most of the oil that we do produce. And when it comes to oil, it's not going to help us with a gas crisis because it's oil. So this notion that more oil production could help us out of the gas crisis and help to lower gas prices, unfortunately, that's not true because it just wouldn't move the dial on gas.
OK, and people watching this morning struggling with their energy bills, what are your top tips for them?
Well, absolutely. You know, we've seen Russia's invasion of Ukraine really spiral gas prices. And if people can, if they can afford it, I would say insulating homes is a good place to start because you lower your gas demand forever if you install insulation. And again, if you can afford it, next time your heating system breaks, look towards a different solution so that you're not reliant on gas in the future when there's another spike.
Something I've often, just on a personal level, I've obviously got gas at home, not obviously, but I've got gas at home at the moment. If I wanted to install a heat pump, do I need to change all the pipework?
It depends. So in some houses, you don't need to change anything. The government did a study and said that every single house in the UK is suitable for a heat pump. Some will need more changes than others. If it's old or if it's very big, you might have to change radiators. But it's on a case-by-case basis. And it's really important that you get an installer that understands heat pumps and understands how to fit them properly so that they can give you the best advice possible. But in theory, every home in the UK should be able to have a heat pump.
OK, I'll have to look at my bank balance. OK, it's good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Thanks a lot. Let's have a look at our dashboard, climate dashboard. Here we go. And this is how much gas we're using as we speak right now. 52% of the mix, the power mix.